Hello. What's up, y'all? Welcome to Ron's Opinion Don't Matter. Um, do me a favor and hit that and subscribe button. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Please, I appreciate it very much. And also watch the channel. Go back, watch all the videos that I've done. Comment, hit that notification bell if you haven't already. That way you get notified all the videos that I put out when I'm putting out the videos, when they actually come out, whatever. And when I go live. Of course, today is Wednesday. I'm going live again. Last week when I was on a live, I said that I was going to get into a little bit about the stock market. But I said that I was going to get into a little bit about the stock market. I said I was going to get a little bit into about the stock market, but I kind of just fell back on that one. And just so people know that for some reason there's a delay from when I'm talking and probably when you're getting the information. For whatever reason, I don't know. I guess it might be YouTube. I don't know. I have no idea. But again, I was going to talk about the stock market, and I probably still might get into some of it. Why I invest and why I choose to invest the way I do. But there's just too much other things that's going on around the world that I just can't ignore it. Of course, we know we got the upcoming election, November the 5th. We all got to go out there and we got to vote. Vote for Trump. I'm going to say it. I don't care how people feel about it. We got to go out there and vote. So I'm saying Trump, 2024, vote for Trump. But there's a lot of deeper issues that are facing this country. And I don't know, some people might have saw it, some people not, about the Venezuela gangs taking over the apartment building. And another so-called Venezuelan gang, allegedly or whatever, I'm just looking at the videos that I see, and I'm going by that. But they robbing a jewelry store. And then I come across another story. This is not, I don't think they were Venezuelan, but they was Hungarian, I think it was, if I'm pronouncing that right. And guy stabs a 14-year-old kid. I mean, you're at some type of sport event, outside a sport event. Stabs him. Just another, but the consistency in all of these stories is that they're illegal immigrants. All of them. Illegal immigrants. They're all illegal immigrants. And how long is America going to sit back and allow this administration to ignore what's going on? How long are we going to just allow America just going to sit back and ignore what's going on? This current administration is not addressing none of these issues. But yet, they out here campaigning, whatever, saying, as if everything is okay, and it's not. It's bad. It's really bad. So, my other question is, hey, what's up, Glimpse? How you doing? What's going on? Welcome. My other thing is this, is that with all of that's going on with the illegals coming over here, and, I had a conversation with a friend. We talk about sleeper cells, people that are over here and that got bad intentions and probably just waiting for the moment to go really put in some damaging work. We don't know where they are. We don't know what their intentions are. And they let a lot of illegals in here. And my question to America, and if you're on this live, my question to you, and what's up, Chris, for real? If you're on this live, and my question to you is that if stuff goes to crap, what are you prepared for? How would you handle it? If we end up in civil duress, where, these illegal immigrants get word and they just start tearing up America, doing stuff, because we see it happening. And we act like we don't see it, but I see it. I see a lot of it. What's your plan? What are you going to do? How are you going to protect your family? Have you made preparations to protect your family? Or yourself, your family, children, if you have children, whatever. But have you made some sort of preparations to protect your family? I talk a lot about guns, and I talk about the Constitution, and I talk about You know, I don't like it when I hear politicians talk about taking away guns and stuff. And I say all of those things for a reason. We got illegals over here in this country. And you see that they have no respect for our laws because where they come from, that's probably normal for them. Robbing and stealing and taking and doing whatever they're doing, that might be normal. Okay, Smith and Wesson. Okay, cool. And that might be normal for them. So they come over in this country and they think that's the way it's supposed to be because that's what they're used to where they're from. I don't know every culture out there. But my thing is this, and here in America, man, we gotta stop being so passive. And that's the truth of the matter. We're looking for the government to do something. They're not. They're not doing anything. You know, we all, for those that's on this live, and most of the people that I know, we all are in support of Trump. We want Trump back in office. But again, Trump is one man. He's just one man. And in all due respect, I appreciate what he is, and I'm glad he's running for president. Everything about me wants him in office and everything like that. And I know that for the most part, he loves this country. He wants to do the right thing. But again, he's still one man. It takes a lot more than just that one man to get this country back the way it's supposed to be. This is our country. This is our country. We live in this country. Why are we allowing people to come over? You're right, Chris Rowe. You need to start preparing. And I don't know on what scale you should prepare on, but I agree that you need to be prepared. You know, I talk to my family, and I say to them, you know, they need to have weapons. They need to be efficient. And I talk on these lives, and I say the same thing. Listen, I told y'all just not too long ago 3 different stories. The jewelry store where they was in the Venezuelan apartment buildings. I'm quite sure most people saw these things. And then the little girl getting stabbed. And these are illegals that are doing this stuff. And you know what? And I agree. I hope it don't come to that too. But the reality of it is that, you know, I wasn't the type of person to think this way too. But then I started looking at what's all going on. And I said, what happens when if it hits my door? Because it's getting close. The people that's in that apartment building, they probably many a times looked at the television, seen everything that's going on, and say, oh, we don't have nothing to worry about. It ain't going to happen to us. And then the next thing you know, it's happening to them. It's right there, knocking on your door. So we, you know, as much as we prepare, we can't be naive because it could come knocking on our door at any moment. And at that point, what are we prepared to do? I mean, you know, I'm going to assume that most of the people that follow me because they agree to some level of my political views and probably my views on guns and stuff like that. But the reality of it is that, you know, I'm going to say 10 years ago, I would have never gave this stuff any thought. Yeah, you're right, Grant. I have a feeling too, but I'm going to be honest with you. I'm hoping everything in me that I'm wrong. But there's in my lifetime, this is the one time in my life that I actually ever started talking this way. Like, I was not the type of person that would be like, you need to prepare, you need to have this. But all that I'm seeing and how much this government, especially with this administration we have right here, how much they don't care. How much. This is the reason why it really, really gets under my skin. They don't want to fix our border, but they're worrying about Ukraine's border. They're letting everybody over here, but they're trying to protect all of these other countries, but they're not protecting home. That tells me that the very government that is elected to protect us have a problem with us and they're against us. That's what it says. Because I don't know no rulership or leadership or any way you look at it would allow that to happen to his people unless they did not care about the people or they want it to happen to them people for whatever power, strong, hungry reasons. I don't know. So that's where my head is at. And I really feel like we're taking a lot of this stuff lightly. And I'm not saying go out there and spend every dime that you have on there, but I think every person needs to make some reasonable preparations. Reasonable preparations. If you on this live, and again, when I'm talking, I notice that there's a delay. So if I don't seem like I'm responding immediately, it's because something's going on in the delay. It's a delay somehow or another. But again, like and subscribe if you haven't already hit the like button. hit the notification bell. That way, when I do these videos, you get notification of it. But I got into these videos, into this conversation, because I keep seeing more and more of these type of stories coming up. And that's why I say I think people need to be well more prepared than you probably ever was. And if you do have a firearm, you need to maybe get out. If you haven't been out, go get some practice. Go to the range. Hopefully you got somewhere nearby or something like that you can go and just go get some practice. That's what I would say. Get some practice and make sure you're prepared for whatever comes. Because at this point, it can hit your door at any moment. I'm not saying your actual front door. I'm just saying wherever you are, just when you're out and about, make sure you're paying attention to your surroundings, your movements, everything. Make sure if you can make yourself not so routine, so where people can pick your moments and your movements all the time. If you can change that up a little bit, change that up a little bit. But just be aware of your surroundings. Don't take nothing for granted. Don't take anything lightly anymore, because we're not living in a time period where we could do that. You can't just think that it's going to be okay right now. You can't. It's too much going on right now, and it's very concerning. And the reason why, the other thing is this, when it comes as opposed to the stock market, and I'm not going to get too far into it, but well, thank you. Yeah, I'm not going to get too far in the stock market, but the reason why I say the stock market, because it relates a lot to politics too. And the reason why I tell people to pay attention to the stock market, because the stock market has been one of my biggest educators. Because when you watch what Wall Street is doing and the corrupting things with these politicians doing as it relates to the stock market, it tells a story that you're probably not going to like. And you see how the politicians, Wall Street, big media, and all of these corporations and stuff, how they're using all of these systems to gain so much wealth. And that's what they're doing. And they're doing it on the backs of everyday hardworking citizens. And it's wrong. It's wrong, morally wrong. They finding little small loopholes to do it, but it's morally wrong. And that's why I'm telling people, United States citizens have nothing to worry about by Trump being back in office. We are going to have one of the best times like we had when he was in office before. It's going to go back to being a wonderful time. Why? Because his concern is to everyday citizen, not big money. It don't mean that they're going to get hurt and they're going to lose a ton of money. It just means that they're not going to have that power strength that they usually have. The other thing is just that it needs to be that way. It's supposed to be that way. It's not supposed to be they get to do and decide how your life is going to end up and make all of these laws to crush your life financially every single day. They're not even asking you what laws that you okay with. They're just making them up and you have to deal with them. And that's where it's tearing America apart. And and sadly, it's mostly Democratic sides. And my thing is this: if you live in any city in the United States, like a big city like New York, Philadelphia, Baltimore, Atlanta, Georgia, I'm gonna say, Los Angeles, California, places where crime is running rapid. You gotta understand something. Democrats are running these places. And why would they allow it? Why would they be okay with the crime the way it is? Why? Why would you let the crime be so rapid and people dying? That means you really have no heart. You don't care about people. You don't care if they die, whatever happens. All you care about is how you're gonna benefit from that. You want the destruction, and that's the sad part about it. And that's why I tell people the Second Amendment is important, and you need to have a firearm. You need to be well efficient with it. Why? Because this government is not going to protect you. You have to protect you. And not only are they not going to protect you, you need to protect yourself against them. Because if they're okay with the border coming across and they're not trying to stop any of that fluctuation that's coming in, they see all of the stuff that these illegals are doing across the country already. And not once do they address these issues. I'm not talking about Trump, because Trump talks about it all the time and he wants to go after it. I'm talking about the current administration that's in office right now. They never address these issues. They just don't. So what are you going to do when it hits your door? What are you prepared to do when it hits your door? Because it keeps getting closer and closer. It's getting closer and closer. The city of Philadelphia, it's crime everywhere. And they try. Listen, I'm gonna pull the mayor's card because they tried to say, oh, well, crime is down in the city of Philadelphia. No, it's not. No crime is down in none of these cities. I'm gonna tell you why it looks like crime is down. Because people stop reporting it. They stop calling the police. You know why they stop calling the police? Because it's going to take the police an hour and a half to come. That's why. Crime is not down nowhere. It's just that people have gotten so tired and frustrated of the fact that the police is now not showing up for anything. And what people also forgot was in the city of Philadelphia, and I think they did it in some other cities, there are certain crimes they're not even responding to no more. So if you tell me that if somebody breaks in my store and steals something, I can't call the police for it because y'all not responding to that no more. That's a false narrative that the crime rate is down, and it's not. Not even close. It's just that people are not calling the police no more. You heard gangs, and you know what? I agree. I know they're in Philly. I know that they're in Philly. They're in every big city in America because when they came across that border, and Texas sent them to melt the vineyard, Mark the Vineyard said, we don't want them here. Not in our beautiful place. And they said, let's send them to the hoods. Let's send them around the hood and send them all over and all over. Let's send them to Chicago. Let's send them to Philadelphia. Send them to New York. We don't want them here. And they said, they want you and the big cities to deal with all of that mess. Because they don't care about you. But yet they know that most inner cities are Democratic ran. They're going to by default just vote Democrat. Just by default. And they don't even have to ask for your vote. They don't have to do nothing for your vote. They just know that by default, the black community and the Hispanic community, by record, just automatically go vote Democrat and have no clue what these people's intentions are. And that's why anyway. So I'm telling you, the mayor of the city of Philadelphia, and I can speak for the city of Philadelphia because that's where I'm from, they full of crap. The crime rate is not down. It's just people stop calling the police. Every time something happens, they're not calling the police as much as they used to. Why? Because they know nothing's going to happen and nobody gives a damn. That's the reality of it. Nobody cares. The police is going to show up an hour and a half after it done happening because they're overworked and they're overcrowded or whatever reason they say it is. And that's it. And there's no strike against the police. It's just, they can't be there like that. They can't get there like that. They overworked. And it's so much crime that they're undermanned. So people just say, you know what, I'm not even going to call the police. I don't even care. I'm just going, it is what it is. That's what's happening. And I guarantee you that when you start to look across the other cities, that's exactly what's happening too. The people are they're so stressed out and so under arrest. They don't even call the police to come help their situation because they know nothing's going to get done about it. And that's the truth of the matter. It's unfortunate, but that's the real truth. So here's the thing. You know the police ain't going to come, and you don't have no way of protecting yourself. You know the police is not going to be able to protect you, but you have no way of protecting yourself. That's why I say you need to have that firearm. You need to be efficient with that firearm because you need to make sure that you are able to protect yourself along with your family. Now, yeah, some people say, well, the police response time is 3 to 6 minutes. I don't know. It varies from place to place. But that, at the end of the day, man, your life should be just as important to you as these politicians' lives are to them. They don't care what mess they create for you. You have to build and you have to do the necessary thing to protect you and your family and those that are around you. Because at the end of the day, that's what that you're right there in this. You're right there. You're going to be in the mix. The police are going to have to show up, and by the time they get there, in most cases, whatever was going to happen already done happened already. Now they just there to try to figure out what happened and how it started or whatever, do their investigation of what happened and where the guilty at and whatever. And if they're going to arrest people, they might. But most of the time, the people are already then gone. And that's what happens most of the time. We have to think differently. We have to think smart. We have to think wise. We have to think that, and back to this illegal thing. I know that some of y'all seen all of this money that they dishing out to these illegals. Now in California, they're trying to get them $150,000 to help them buy a house. $150,000 to help illegals get a home. You've been in America, let's just say 40 years. Let's say you've been born in America 40 years ago. You've been working your behind off, busting your behind. 40 years later, you still can't afford to buy a house. You've done all the right stuff. Paid your taxes, did all of that stuff. But the cost of living and everything else has consumed everything that you have where you can't even afford to buy a house. And then somebody breaks the law, comes right across this country, and this country, the one that you worked for and did your part to funnel money into a system that you're supposed to benefit from, they turn around and hand them $150,000 to purchase the very thing that you've been working for 40 years to try to do. And you can't. And why would you continue to vote that way? Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, and everybody on the Democratic side, this is what they want to do. This is what they're doing. I ain't going to say want. This is what they're doing. This is what they've been trying to do the whole time. They're trying to erase Americans and create whatever place they're trying to create for them. They're trying to erase Americans. I can't find no good reason why anybody would want to vote for Kamala, Joe Biden, any of them. 4 years. We've been in this for 4 years. You can't find one good thing that has came out of this administration. Unless you of the LGBT community, which that's only a tiny smidget portion of people. And I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't even see why they would vote for him neither. Why? Because you still got to buy groceries. You still got to get gas. You still need protection. So you still under the same problem that every American is going to be under. Even though they making it seem like they're there for you. But in reality, you born and raised in this country, regardless of your behavior sexually wise, guess what? You're going to deal with the same problem. The only people that ain't got to deal with this problem is politicians that are rich. They're the only ones that ain't got to deal with it because they got security. They got protection. They're not worrying about these illegals coming over here doing nothing to them because they got to go through their security and stuff to get to them. They don't got to go through nothing to get to us. We're right here, vulnerable, exposed. And what they got to go to get to you or get to me? If they decide to do whatever it is they try to do. Now, don't get me wrong. If I get an opportunity to fight back, it's not going to go well for them. But that is what it is. But why should we, as American citizens, have to suffer because politicians don't know what they're doing? We need to be more educated in how we vote, and we need to vote according to what's best for the country and what's best for you. You can't leave out the country because we got to deal with other countries. We got to deal with wars and other things that are going on. You need real leadership. You need real leadership on that world stage just as much as you need real leadership on a home stage. So, yeah, you get people say, oh, I want to vote for her because she's a woman. That's not a good reason to vote for anybody. You need to vote for somebody because they have real leadership skills. They understand how to be a leader. You can always know a real leader because real leaders don't ask people to follow them. They don't really have to. They might say, follow me, but they don't really have to ask. You see the aura of their leadership and you want to jump on board because you see the positive in what they're contributing. And you want to help. You want to see what part you can play in helping that to see that happen. Kamala Harris has no real leadership. None. Zero. I don't care what position she is. None of the positions that she got, she was in, and she really earned those positions. That's the truth of the matter. She didn't really earn it. Joe Biden has been in politics for over 40 plus years, almost 50 years. Has never accomplished anything. Only thing he's done is gotten paid to be a politician to do absolutely nothing. Because you can't tell me across the board in the 47 years, what had Joe Biden actually done that was successful? That's why the only thing he hollers is, oh, we had an assault ban at one point. Most Americans love their guns, so how is that beneficial to America? You're not making sense. And that's the only thing you keep harping on, because that's your only accomplishment in all your years is that, oh, you got assault weapons banned. So you just made a whole bunch of Americans mad because you banned weapons that they should be able to be allowed to purchase no matter what. One man should not decide what you're able to buy to protect yourself. None of that is going to keep the guns out of criminals' hands. None of that is going to keep the guns. Criminals had assault weapons. You see all these videos, criminals out in the street shooting around with fully automatic weapons. That's not a new condition. They always had assault weapons. So you can ban all assault weapons you want to ban. That's not going to stop the criminals. You know what stopped criminals? Again, like I always say, what has stopped a criminal is the threat of a gun when they see the gun before they get a chance to pull the gun. That's what stopped criminals. Threats. Not what y'all talking about. Oh, we need to start that. None of what these politicians have been saying is anything going to do anything for crime. Because they don't even know how to stop crime. It ain't that complicated. It really isn't. If I was running for any type of political office in any town or any time that has a crime rate that's really, really high, I'm not going to be very popular in how I handle it, but I guarantee you that the crime rate will come down drastically. I guarantee you that, because it ain't that complicated to handle it. I will get it done, and no, it will not take me a long time. I will piss a lot of people off, but I wouldn't care if I pissed them off. At the end of the day, who I'm concerned about is the honest, everyday honest citizens that go to work and want to be able to safely travel about the world, go to work, enjoy themselves, be able to go out, be able to have their kids at playgrounds and do all of the things that they want to do without the threat of some knucklehead trying to make a name for himself out here just wielding a gun, shooting all over the place. That don't even make sense to me. But again, these guys ain't did it once. They did it twice. They doing it on numerous occasions, and yet they still on the streets. And y'all so-called can't find them. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. We're not that stupid. We know that you can find them. If somebody can go look at a satellite and and spot a mouse on the ground at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you know who did what. You just don't want to, because you need them out there until you're ready to round them up to make a political statement of all the so-called arrests you made. That's the only time y'all go get them. And then y'all put them right back out there to do the same thing again, so that when the next election comes, you can round them up again and make a political statement. And then once it's all said and done, y'all let them out again. Why? Because y'all know what they're going to do, drive the crime rate up, and then y'all can go grab them again, lock them up, and say, oh, we made all these arrests again. And then when it's all said and done, you let them out again. They do the same routine over and over and over. That's why these criminals are always on the street, because they don't, even the criminals don't even realize that they're pawns for the politicians. No, let them out. You know they're going to go commit crime again. And then we can arrest them all over again. And then we can say, oh, we had all these arrests. When I was doing it, we had all these arrests. When I was mayor, and when I was this, and when I was that, we had all these arrests. And y'all keep locking up the same people and letting them back out, and then lock them back up, and then letting them back out. And y'all using the same people as pawns to recycle it. But most people don't pay no attention. But if you look at the crime and all the people that commit crime, it's the very same people being rotated in the crime sprees. You're like, oh, well, that's why you see somebody with a rap sheet and they be like, well, he's been arrested 25 times. Why? Why they not still in jail? That's why. That's exactly why they're not in jail, because the politicians use them to keep arresting them so they can keep making it look like they're doing a job that they're not doing. We have all these arrests. That's all that is. But, you know, at the end of the day, we really need to consider, you know, we have to protect ourselves. We really do. And I'm emphasizing this a lot today because I'm seeing a lot of it. And I'm scared that, you know, something's going to come about, something's going to happen, and it's going to keep creeping closer to where you live or where I live. And hopefully not. Hopefully we never have to deal with that. Hopefully things get better. But the reality of it is we don't know where it's going to go. We really don't know where it's going to go. And we have to prepare ourselves on a scale to say, okay, just in case we're right, we're prepared, we're ready, just in case. I mean, you're not going to always be prepared for everything, because you're not going to know everything that's going to happen. But at least you'll have some glimpse of, if something was to happen, I do have something to work with, and I do have something to protect myself with. Because this place, America, is not as safe as people if they're trying to make it seem. It's not. Because these Venezuelan gangs are willing to go and just go into a apartment building. They don't even know who's on the other side of those doors, probably. But yet they went in there and did what they did. ran into jewelry stores and robbing the jewelry store at gunpoint. And there's probably more stuff out there that we haven't even came across. And I'm came across other things. You know, it was a police. I don't know if they was illegals or not, but 2 wounded, 1 dead in Dallas, Texas. Police officer. He didn't even know what was coming. He didn't see it was coming, from according to the story. So you don't know. You don't know what these people's intentions are. And when you let illegals over here from all these other countries, they live differently. They live differently. They don't live like we don't. You know, America's considered a civilized country. A lot of these places they're coming from, they don't live civilized like we live. Crime is normal for them. But now they're here. And we dealing with this. You know, and when Trump gets in office and we get a reverse of this administration and we can start rounding a lot of these people up and sending them back where they came from. If their country don't want them, I don't care how you get them over there. Put them on a military plane with parachutes and drop them off in their country and keep it flying. I don't know. But we need them to go. They got to go. All of them. They all got to go. Now, the good ones that might be salvageable, they still got to go. You come back the right way, we can work with you. That way we can scrutinize who you are. But they got to go. And I say this to say a lot, you know, we need to abandon the Democratic Party until they get their head together. I can't see it happening. But I think every person in America needs to vote for Trump. I think every person in America needs to abandon the Democratic Party and unify our vote around Trump to send a message that if you don't care about this country, you don't get our vote. And that's the truth of the matter. If you don't care about this country, you don't get our vote. That's it. Because for far too long, I appreciate that. For far too long, we have been allowing these politicians to do what they want to do. And they're taking a full advantage of American citizens. They don't care. They really don't care. And I can't speak to all the Republicans because I don't know all. I know what I see in Trump. I know what I see in some of the Republicans. And I think the Republicans Party as a whole has improved drastically. From some of the people that I've seen on the Republican side, I think the Republican Party is the party of the future. They make sense. It's common sense, and they're doing a lot of, they got a lot of good, strong candidates beyond just Trump. Like a lot of the people coming that's behind them, I like what I see. I didn't know who Vance was, but I like Vance. He grew on me. He grew on me a lot. And I got a lot of respect for him. And I like Byron Donalds. I like Wesley. I like Carrie Lake. I see it's a lot of them. Like the Republican side is they got some deep. It's a lot of good politicians on that side, and it's deep. Say what they want to say. I like Ron DeSantis to some extent. I like the governor in Texas. So these people have common sense mentalities, and I'm not saying that they're perfect. None of them are, but they care about this country. And that's the number one thing we should look at before we start looking at anything else. How much do they really care about this country? If you look at this administration that has been in office right now, there is nothing that they have done that says that they care about this country. And I hate to keep beating the dead horse, but we need to kill that horse as much as we can because it's a problem. It really is a problem for this country. These people right now are really, 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 really hurt. Financially, they are being devastated. They're being devastated. I see small businesses going out of business everywhere. Every time I turn around, I'm like, oh man, another business, another business, another business, another business. And it's this administration that killed them. They the ones that killed them. They said they were for small business, but you can't say you're for small business, but don't know how to run administration and run the office and run this thing to support small businesses. Every decision that they made supported Wall Street, not small businesses. It supported big business. When they did all of that shut down, all the small places had to shut down. All the big places were still open. Amazon made a killing. Walmart made a killing. Target made a killing. All of these big businesses that are publicly traded companies was making a killing. What about the small guy? The everyday business person? I feel sorry for restaurants trying to make $1. I feel sorry for little clothing stores trying to make $1 right now. When I'm riding down the street or when I'm traveling around, I look at all the stores. I don't drive on the highway. The reason why I don't drive on the highway is because I want to see all the local stuff. And when I look at all the local stuff, I see how much people are patronizing the stores. And that tells me the story. And I don't see people patronizing the stores. The malls are empty. They're not patronizing stores. And these malls, these stores in these malls are owned by somebody who got a high rent to pay. They got all this product and inventory in there, and all they're trying to do is make a living to take care of their family. But Amazon, Walmart, and all the Target and all of these big companies have literally put them out of business, and this administration has supported that whole process. And unfortunately, the everyday citizen fell into the trap because we stopped going. Because Amazon sold you a convenience. You don't have to leave your house. We'll bring it to you. Walmart sold you convenience. We'll bring it to you. Target sold you convenience. We'll bring it to you. And then they talk about America having a obesity problem. Why do you think we have obesity problem? Because we're not moving no more. We're not going out. We're not walking around the malls shopping. We're not carrying heavy product to our cars and stuff. We're letting Amazon and Walmart and all of those people bring it to us, everything. I mean, I don't buy stuff from Walmart now. I don't buy much of anything. But that's my point. My point is we are the consumers. And the only way we can help fix this problem is to stop supporting all the big business and take some of that money and go back to the small businesses and put them back in business. Put them back in business. Help them to make a living. Because those are your neighbors. You might not even realize it or not. Those are your neighbors. And these are the people that need to make a living. And yeah, I understand sometimes their prices aren't competitive, but their prices will become competitive the more you patronize them. Because now they say, okay, I'm moving product, maybe not on that large scale, but I'm moving product a lot more faster than I used to. So man, maybe I don't have to have a higher profit margin. I can lower my profit margin so I can move product even faster because I'm getting more business, because I'm getting more foot traffic in my store. We stopped supporting these stores. So we can't blame everything on this administration. The administration just put it there to make people lazy enough not to do it, not to want to go. We don't even know what we're doing. Now, here's the thing. Amazon, there's a lot of small businesses that move product through Amazon. But again, that's fine. But there's these small businesses and stuff like that. We need to get back to going to inside these stores and going inside these places because that's healthy. Honestly, that's healthy. That's the part to me. And when they did this COVID stuff and everybody had their own view on it, but I think that was the biggest damage we could have done to America because we stopped patronizing and being around each other and socializing, and now we don't know who each other are no more. And when the reality of it is we need to get back to that, going into the stores, patronizing these businesses, supporting local businesses, because those are actually your neighbors. You ain't going to never meet Mr. Walmart. You ain't going to never meet Mr. Target or Mr. Target. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're publicly traded companies, but they're not your local neighbors. You're right, true that. I appreciate that one. They're not your neighbors. So I know that I'm not saying don't shop at Walmart. I'm not saying don't shop at Amazon. I'm not saying don't shop at Target. What I'm saying is take a reasonable amount of that money and your time and go into these local stores, and you'd be surprised what you might find. And my thing is this, and this is just my theory. This is just my you shop at local. This is just my theory. And when it comes to the local stores and stuff like that, and I kind of lost my frame of thought, but I feel like these stores will be a lot more competitive if we can. You just have to take a portion of your money. That's my point. I don't think you should spend every dime with one place because everything needs to be a little bit competitive. But I think if you spend the time and say, you know what, let me go walk into the store and walk around the store and shop in these local stores, and you'll be surprised what you may find. And then and back to my theory part is most people that order stuff from Amazon, Walmart, and just online order. I guarantee you that you probably got 20% of the stuff that you ordered online you don't even need and you did nothing with it. It's just sitting in your house. It's just sitting in your house. You forgot what you ordered. It's just sitting there. Wasted money. That wasted money, you could have went into the store. Because here's the thing, if you don't like what you see, you can touch feel what you find in the store, and you can decide at that moment rather something you want or not, or don't want. You can try it on if it's closed or whatever. You can decide at that moment whether you want it or not. When you order stuff online and you get that clothes at home, and let's say it don't fit right, something like that, now you got to pack it up and send it back or take it to a store, which you could have just went to the store and decided at that moment just to send it back and say you don't want it and go through this other process. When it's probably more easy just to enjoy yourself and go to the store and do it that way anyway. That's just my opinion. You know, I know Ron's opinion don't matter, but that's just my opinion. But I'm going to get. I wasn't, you know, like I said, I didn't want to go too far into this video. I wasn't trying to be. Thank you. He said, agreed. Thank you for that one. But I didn't want to go too far into this video about a lot of, you know, too far about stuff. But it was just some things that was on my mind. I wanted to get into why I invest. You know, I do invest, and I'm not, you know, trying to tell people, oh, you should do this and you do that. You should buy stocks and stuff. I wasn't going to get that deep into it, but it was just, you know, how I invest and why I do it. My thing is this: my reason for investing is because I want a part of America too, and my whole investment strategy is I buy stock in places where I see people spend money. That's it. I don't have no real dynamite thing. I don't look at graphs, and I mean I do look at a little bit graph, but I don't do all this stuff that a lot of these stock traders and all this stuff they talk about. They take out, to me, that just take the fun out of it. And I know it might be stupid the way I'm doing it, but I honestly just, my whole investment strategy is that if the company pays dividends, I'll buy their stock. That's kind of how it goes. I try to get as cheap as I can possibly get it. And then on the other side, and I just look at companies that I see people spending money at. So I'll, you know, like, let's say, for instance, like a Walmart, a Target, stuff like that. Okay, people shop at Walmart, people shop at Target. Okay, I'll put some money there and I'll put some money there. People buying it, they're in business. I'll put money there, and that's how I invest. I don't do nothing fancy. Now, has it been rewarding? Yes. Am I rich? No, not even close. But you could make a really good living if you're consistent and you just kind of pay attention. I don't get into all of the other stuff that I see a lot of people. They, oh, you should do this and you should do that. Graphs. For me, it takes the fun out. I do it to make money and to build some form of wealth. But I like it. I enjoy it. So it's like if I get so caught into, then I feel like I'm going to take the fun out of it for me. So I enjoy it, and I don't want to take the fun out of it for me. That's it. And then, you know, sometimes when I'm with, I'm gonna say my cousin, sometimes when me and him together, because we'll talk stocks and stuff like that and whatever, and we'll be riding around like, oh man, I got stock in that, and I got stock. We like little kids. Oh, I got stock in that. I got stock in that. And that's the fun part for us. We like little kids. Like, yeah, you ever think about that? Yeah. And that's how we keep each other motivated. And it's fun. And some of the people around me, that's, you know, that do invest a little bit here and there, that's how we do it. I'm not suggesting anybody do it that way, but that's just what we do. It's fun for me, and it's fun for them. And we're like, okay, you know, we ride around. And there have been times I've had stock and stuff, I don't even know what it was. I'm like, oh, yo, guess what? I got stock in that company. That's what they do. That's how stupid it is. And I'm not saying it's dumb. It's just, it's fun for me. So I don't tell people to do stuff the way I do it because it's fun for me. But it has been rewarding. And it's been rewarding. And yes, you can make money on the stock market if you're consistent and you pay attention. And there is some things that you want to look at, like when they announcing earnings and when the feds are getting involved and when they start talking about interest rates and stuff like that. You do want to pay all of that stuff. I know all of that stuff. I know about what the feds are going to do. I know that with interest rates having, how it has an effect on the stock market when companies start to announce their earnings and how that's going to affect the stock market. Sometimes you'll see the stock goes down. I know that when a company get ready to pay out their dividends at some point, they're going to take that money out. You're going to see the stock fall. There's a lot of stuff that I do know. And I understand that. And I do watch those fluctuations and stuff like that and look for opportunity to purchase more shares of that company if it need be, if I am interested in buying more shares or upping my position a little bit more. But the stock market, the reason why I'm talking about the stock market, because it's more related to politics too, because it's been a good educator to me. I see through the stock market how these politicians have been making money ridiculously. And it's sad to see how they're doing. You know, and I'm not going to be too much longer, but my point is, if the stuff, they'll all get together and agree to say, okay, we're going to make, let me see, like, we're going to make this law. Everybody has to own one of these. You know what I'm saying? This is what the policy is. So every single person, it's just a thermos. If for those that don't know, it's just a thermos. But for every single person out there, we're going to make a law that everybody's going to have to own one of these thermoses. All right? Okay, so these politicians will get together, and they all know how they're going to vote. But before they all get together and make this vote, they know that this company is publicly traded. So they'll go position themselves into that company with their money. They just, okay, let's buy their stock, buy this and that and that. Because once we make it law, everybody's going to have to buy it. Everybody's going to have one. So once they make it law, they already positioned themselves. They did it with car insurance. They did it with all lot of stuff. And then once they position themselves, they got it on the low end. They just waiting for it. And then when they make it law and everybody start doing it, bang, they making money. They can't lose. They rarely ever going to lose money, and that's what they've been doing to American citizens. They're taking advantage of it. So it's that's why I tell people that the stock market has been an educator for me, because I'm watching what they're doing, and I think it's to some extent wrong. It's not fair. They're telling you to buy the house, but they're buying the companies. They're telling you to buy the house, but they own the mortgage companies. They're telling you to buy the house, but they own all of the real estate, and they keep making money over and over and over and over and over. But we're just I think anybody work money, you're smart enough to do it, and I think you should be able to keep it. I don't look at rich people or wealthy people and say, oh, you owe me this, you owe me that. But when I know you're doing slick stuff or underhanded stuff, and you're not being fair about it, that's where I have the problem. That's where that's where it bothers me. It's like, okay, you guys having you're making it slick about it because you got inside information, but you're not calling it inside information. You know that y'all about to make this into a law, but yet y'all going to position yourself to make all this money. That's the only damn crazy part is they tried the same thing with this electric car agenda. It's just not going well. This electric car agenda is a prime example of what these politicians doing. And they're doing it with government money because they're giving tax credit and tax breaks to a lot of these electric car companies. And they're trying to keep them afloat on the taxpayers' dollars. I know because I have money invested in one or two of them, and I'm seeing the emails that the government is giving them tax break for companies, not regular everyday people, but for corporations to buy these electric commercial vehicles, and they're going to get a tax break. And I'm like, well, how is that fair? And the government's going to give them a tax break with the American citizens' tax money so that they can, for corporations to buy these electric vehicles. Make that make sense. But again, and they're going to try to force it on you, and they're going to make a bunch of money. The stock market is the educator. And I tell people, I'm not saying everything is for everybody. But what I do say is that you need to learn and pay attention to it, because you'll see exactly what I see. You'll see what I see. They don't, there's people that buy stock and own these companies and shit. They rarely do. For the ones that know the game, they don't lose money like that. They know what they're doing because they're manipulating it enough to make the money. Like, I'm going to get ready to go soon, but let's just say, let's go with Kellogg's cereal, right? I'm going to use Kellogg's as an example. When people that are on welfare or that are getting WIC, what they call WIC or whatever case may be, they're going to get cereal. They're going to get certain things on that WIC that they're going to be able to get what we call for free. But the reality of it is they're going to get either food stamps or they're going to get WIC support, where the government is going to pay the cost of this through whatever government funded program. Okay, these companies that sell this stuff to the stores, when the stores go and buy them, and then people go through and use the WIC program and stuff like that and food stamps to buy the stuff, these companies are publicly traded. Who you think own the stocks in these companies that the government is paying for the foods and stuff? You see my point? Now you say, oh, that's not going to have a big effect on it, but this is what I'm trying to tell you. The politicians, they're not really giving y'all the full story of what they're doing and how they're manipulating stuff. And I'm not, and I think there's a moral aspect to this that's wrong. And instead of educating our kids and educating the community on how they can take advantage of these type of things and invest their money and stuff like that, They just keep trying to make you into a consumer so you can keep consuming, and they keep making. And that's it. That's the reality of it is. But I'm getting ready to go ahead. I appreciate everyone that was on this live. Please like and subscribe. Please share this video. And I ask that, whenever you're on your free time, go back and watch all the videos over and over and over and over again. Help this channel. Tell people about it. I got some things, I really want to make this channel grow. It's a lot. It is a lot. I didn't realize what I was getting into when I got into it, but I enjoy it. I enjoy it more and more and more, and I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Appreciate you guys spending time with me, and y'all have a blessed, wonderful day. And again, like I always say, if you don't have Jesus Christ in your life, get to know him. He's a life changer. And if you don't have him, surrender to him. And believe me when I tell you, you can't go wrong there. Because God loves you. Y'all have a blessed day. Goodbye.